Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing good. So I've created this video on Star Citizen based on my perspective, and as you can see right here in the wallpaper, that itself kind of excites me because I can see a carrier fighting another frigate over there, and it's kind of beautiful that just by looking at this wallpaper itself, I can get an idea about things that are gonna start unfolding in Star Citizen. So yeah, I always loved space games, and back when I was a kid, I used to play Wing Commander, and in that particular game, that you used to have the feel of actually flying the spaceship itself. You get launched a carrier, and then after you launch from a carrier, you have your NPC buddies, and then you do your missions and all that, and you come back to the carrier. But how about this? Let's see. Let's try to put this into another 20 years now, and now we have Star Citizen, which has actually sort of achieved that. In 4.0, we're going to get that ability, as you saw the wallpaper before that, where you can launch from a carrier with your buddies. It's not an NPC holding the carrier, it's like one of your buddies holding the carrier, or one of the corporation mates having this carrier, and you launch from there, and you do your missions. So you're creating a mission by yourself, your buddies are creating the mission by yourself, right? So that's going to be fun that way. And plus, we have Freelancer, we have X Series. They also offer different gaming elements to it. Freelancer gave the RPG side of it, but did not give you the full feel of it, from where you can actually have the ability to see the cool detailed view of the cockpit. X Series had a very detailed view, but it was single player, where you do have big ships, so there it was beautiful, but then the multiplayer component was gone. Then we had EVE Online, X4 Foundation, again part of X Series, but EVE Online had the single server, many players, the social gaming element to it, people working together, and a lot of team play involved into it, corporations battling each other out. X4 Foundations had the ability, finally they had introduced like walking stations and all that, but then again, single player. But EVE Online missed out the ability to do FPS and flying your own ship and having multi-crew ships. But right now Star Citizen has that ability, where your buddies can be in one big ship, some Marines, some fly the spaceship. Then, as I said earlier, corporations, resources management as well, that's yet to come. Corporations are there, but the gameplay is yet to be involved into it deeply. Then you have dynamic NPCs, and with the introduction of dynamic NPCs, it makes it something similar to Freelancer, where you have NPC pirates and NPC security forces, hanging around near asteroid belts and all that. So if you go there and you see that, they randomly pop up over there, and you have security forces battling them out. You can either help them or just ignore. So it kind of gives you the more live feel to this, which is good, because others, rather than having a game like Elite Dangerous, which is pretty lonely out there. I remember playing that game, it felt so lonely. But playing No Man's Sky felt even more lonely. So we need a game like Star Citizen, at least sort of make sure that you don't feel that kind of feeling over there. It's more team play, team oriented game, and you can do so much more in this game with this. And of course the other competitor for this is Dual Universe, but then I think it's a different genre of it. So, and so once you have corporations, then you definitely know that there's going to be competition for resources, and people will start harboring moons for mining, and you'll have probably carriers and frigates and destroyers protecting those moons, so that they're industrialists who are actually mining the resources to get the ores, refine them, and build probably lasers and ships, and hopefully that'll be in the next step that they can also add into this game, which is going to add a lot of gameplay overall, because a lot of these corporations fighting for moons, planets, and controlling territory, building bigger ships, building more ships, and creating missions, maybe corporation missions as well. And so right now in this game, what they've already introduced is that even if you are not part of a corporation, but just a lone pilot, but you'll always see sometimes some people ask for escort missions as such, like some of the traders who actually have want to transport from one place to another place, and sometimes you may get jumped by pirates, and if they have a really expensive cargo, it's always good to have another fighter escort along by your side. Yeah, then this is possible too, where people can create beacons and they can do an escort pilot being protecting them as they're doing the really risky trade. And so at least during this trip, the pilot will get some money. The escort pilot will also get some money for protecting the person. Creating player-based missions similar to EVE Online. I remember they had the same ability to do that too. So that's really good. And yeah, and plus regarding dynamic NPCs, I remember back in Freelancer, sometimes when you just roam around and you go to different parts of the map, and you will see like some of these security patrols wandering around here and there, and then sometimes you will get jumped by pirates as you wander around here and there, and then you would have security forces also backing you up as well. So that dynamic NPCs being present in the game, especially in 3.9, that's where I observed that. I played it from 3.8 too, but now in 3.9 I do see this dynamic NPC gameplay has been introduced, and it kind of makes the game feel more lively that way, so it doesn't look like just human players, because right now the cap is only 50, but hopefully that'll increase to, once with server meshing, they would increase that cap to much more, probably a couple of thousand players, hopefully at least. And yeah, so once I got this Gladius, I did a lot of combat missions. You can make a lot of money out of it. And as you can see over here, as I'm showing you the missiles over here, so if you've actually attached to your ship with the particular type of weapon, you can actually see it being attached to it, and you can actually see all the details. They put a lot of details for the ships. And over here, I do have, like, this is I think the C227 Badger, and on top, as I'm pointing at using my torchlight over there, is the gimbal mount, so that using gimbal mount lasers, they have the ability to auto aim at the enemy ship. So when you do combat mission, it's really good. If you have a little bit slower PC, it's easier to aim at targets and knock them off. So yeah, and the details are really, really detailed, I would say. But I would definitely hope that they didn't go too much details, because that could slow down the project which they're working on. So it's been 6 years, I guess 6 years or more. And so yeah, so right now I'm just gonna sit in the ship, and I'm gonna go to my plan was to go to Hurston first, to just land in one of the sections of the planet, but then I guess I had some issues with that, so then I landed up in Magda. You'll see that later on. So here I've just clicked on flight ready, which actually instantly gets your spaceship up and running quickly, rather than you doing it manually one by one. And then over here, as you can see, this is the external view of the ship, but I don't think you'll be completely able to play the game with the external view. And yeah, so it's basically it's first person view itself, and which I prefer it because it gives you more realistic feel for it. And over here, as you can see, that there was one of the space station was attacking a pirate. This is where I'm talking about a little bit of dynamic NPCs being present here. Pirates, visiting here and there the space stations, and then you have the security forces trying to attack them over here. But this particular pirate over here, too bad for him. He's bugged, so nothing's happening. And since we are within the armistice zone, as you can see in the top right, where they shows a bullet, bullets, so you cannot attack within the armistice zone. And once you go beyond the armistice zone, that's where your guns will be online, and plus even your FPS weapons are also online too. So that this is just to protect people from causing problems near the space stations, and there are some pirates or maybe some people who just like to grieve on other people just because they want to attack them at the space stations, because the last thing you want to do is as soon as they come out from space station, and people just like waiting outside with the guns rolling over there. So yeah, so they have prevented that from happening. And yeah, so here, as you can see, this is the interface for selecting the map. Yeah, where you can actually, this is the part where I was trying to land into one of the locations on the planet, but I found it a little bit difficult. I think there was it kind of bugged a little bit over there. So you can actually go. You don't need to use a star map to land on a planet. You can actually go directly and fly, straight ahead, go there. But to reduce time, you can sometimes warp to a location on the planet which they have landmarks over there, and then using that you can reduce the time to get to that location. So since it kind of glitched over there, so I thought let me try to go to another planet, and it's a moon actually, and it's called Magda, and I'll show that to you as soon as I get a chance to point the location. Yeah, so here is Magda, and I'm gonna point into that direction. And then, so you have two types of warps here. If you're gonna, if you do the, I think they have, so they do have the quantum travel. That's like going between planet to planet or moon to a planet. But then I think the other one is just the jumping from one star system to another star system. I think smaller ships don't have that ability to jump automatically, but they have to use with the help of a Stargate or wormhole. While bigger ships, I think they have the capability to jump directly to that location. I think it's similar to EVE Online, where you have these carriers jumping from one star system to another star system. So and as you can see, the graphics over here is as I'm walking to Magda. The planet, the moon disappearing, and the scale of this moon, right, is actually it's like so realistic that you can actually go there and land there and walk around, and it actually takes a really, really long time. As you walk around, you actually feel the scale. I'm not sure to what extent is the real the realistic scale is set into the game, but as soon as we land over here, I'll show you. So what I did over here was I just pointed to one of the landmark locations so I can, reduce the time to get to the planet. And so another thing about what I like to add over here is that once you land on the moon, you will actually see the effects, the atmospheric effects, the effects from the lighting, as the moon, they've made it like realistic as possible, where due to the rotation of the moon, the day and night cycles, and the effects which you have over there. And over here, as you can see, as I'm going down to the planet, to the moon. And it's it looks so beautiful actually over here. It's got a very thin atmosphere, I think, on this particular moon. And as you can see, just the effects, the way the light is hitting the mountains. And right now I'm going to find a place where I can land on the moon. So as I was talking about the ability to go along with your buddies, in fighter ships together and lifting off from a carrier and, doing missions together. And I'm sure, in the future we'll have corporations, on this particular moon itself, blockading so that only their miners could actually mine this moon. And it'll be exciting to see that, how this game will turn out in the future, in another maybe 1 or 2 years, I think. What they're going to add into this with the corporation gameplay added onto it. And they're considered organizations, but one and the same. And of course, there's definitely a possibility where people will have their own private military corporations, which they act as mercenaries to attack another corporation, do proxy wars, or having, similar to EVE Online, where you have proxy wars happening, and espionage, corporation espionage, and all that would be there. So here I just landed on Magda, and as you can see, I'm just gonna get out from the spaceship. Love that effect actually on the spaceship, automatically it just closes itself. And here I'm at Magda. And on the bottom left, as you can see, that there are temperature effects, more like atmospheric effects on the person, where your oxygen level goes low with the tank, plus this place is a little colder, I guess, so that way, as you can see, the temperature drops a little bit. And on the bottom left, you can also see that now with 3.9 patch, you need to have water and food as well to keep yourself in a better shape. And as you can see over here at the jump, the gravity is less over here, so you can jump much higher. So they've added all those realistic effects onto this game, and I can only imagine, when we have lots of players, walking around here, and the effect over here. As you can see, the lighting effect on the horizon, so beautiful. And so let us just sit here and relax. So it's sort of like another planet altogether, like an alien planet where you can just relax and enjoy the view. And right now, and there's another. When I played in the beginning, I went to Yellow, and Yellow was I think an ice cold planet, where you can actually see a lot of atmospheric effects of the rainwater hitting on your helmet. It looked really beautiful. It looks so realistic. And as you can see, I think maybe, yeah, see over there you can see another small white dot over there, and that's another moon or planet. I'm not sure whether that is Houston, from where we just came from. So yeah, so all that realism, which you can see over the horizon. So I just love that part how they implemented that into it. And so the point of this video was to give an understanding about how this game has developed and what features are available right now, to see how you can land on a planet seamlessly, no load times. You just go from one planet to another planet, and you can have friends on the other planet go all the way to whichever location they want to and do a mission. And then, or if they're doing a mission on another planet, you can go from this planet and just go there and act as reinforcements, or help another person protect his trade ship, or help the other person do mining as well. So as you can see on this particular moon, now there's a bit of higher winds being observed over here. Yeah, so since it's more windy now, and as you can see, due to this high winds, you can see all these dust particles are also moving along with it. So it gives that very realistic feel here as well. All the particles moving, and then I'm not sure to what extent if there is an extreme weather condition, how it affects. One of the videos I did notice that in cold in really cold temperatures, that they do show that the person actually raises his hands because it's too cold, and if he is not able to see, they try to block the view and all that, so it doesn't affect his eyes. So yeah, so they have implemented a lot of these game physics into it to make it more realistic as possible. So yeah, and so what I can think about is that this is definitely a game, I would say, that has got a lot of potential, and I'm just waiting for the cooperation part of it getting further implemented with the resource and economy. I think it's gonna add significant, huge improvement in the gameplay. It's already good right now, but having it to the next step is even better. So here, this is my, the weapon is called the, I think the Desert Hawk. And then here you can, the new things with they've implemented 3.9, you can also modify the gun on the go rather than going to your Moby class and then changing the weapon enhancements. You can do it on the fly right now. And yeah, and so that's what I wanted to give the information on this, to show you that the whole idea of this game, like with the whole dynamic gameplay available right now, but it's still in alpha, but hoping that as they add more features, this game will get to the next step, the game that I always wanted to get, where you have your own spaceship where you get to fly it and then at the same time you can move out of the spaceship, do some missions on foot as well, and go party together with other friends. And instead of the NPCs giving you missions, you can have your own mission as a corporation, right? So you can have your own carrier, and you can give them, other pilots can land on your carrier, and then create a mission where you need to protect your other industrialists as such, or other trade runs that's happening, or explorers as such. So you make your own missions out there. So it's a mission by itself. And maybe you can contract other additional private military corporations into your corporation to work with them for a short time for a particular fee, and then that's it. So you decide what you need to do. And so that's why I feel like this game is going mostly in the right direction, and definitely I would suggest people who are interested have a look at other YouTube videos, what they have displayed, and if this is the kind of game that you like, with the idea of openness, open world in this game. That, and plus I'm thinking what else can people do, if the game has given certain type of abilities, you could think out of the box. Like what people did in EVE Online at one point was that they started having their own banking system, trade, giving shares and all of that. So, and the idea of espionage was another thing. I think they didn't actually create it in gameplay, but people could take advantage of it and create it as a gameplay by what was available. So something like that could happen out here. Corporate espionage, people could just steal people's ships and get into it. And I think this is one of my friends, what he did was he was on this station in Port Olisar, and he saw one of these big ships over there, and the back door was open over there, so he got inside, hid himself over there, and then took out the pilot, and then he started flying his ship. So so this is me exiting from the moon, Magda, and as you can see the effects over here as I'm exiting from the atmosphere. And also at the same time there are effects, if you cross certain amount of G's, it affects your pilot's ability to see as well, because of the lack of blood, or maybe this is a blood rush. So you pilots can also completely go blackout for a while, and then you can go back because of the effects of the G forces experienced by the pilot. So here I'll be going back to base. Where I base myself out is from Everest Harbor. And they have improved the star map a bit better. As you can see, the landmarks are pointed not on the planet anymore, but they have kept it sort of orbiting around the planet. So it makes it easier to point and click and then warp. Before it was a bit more difficult since they were on the planet. So so warping, you do take quantum fuel, so it's always good to keep your fuel always up and running, and you can always refuel at a space station or one of these cities as well, at the landing pads. And here in the bottom left and the bottom right, as you can see, that I'm showing you the other displays that you can modify to display what you want to see. At the same time, these are they're not just they're not cosmetic, but you can actually change stuff on these displays itself. Now here, as you can see, that's the left side is that you can change the power distribution for shields to engines to guns and all that. And on the top right, I always keep it for any targets that I come across, so I can see there, what kind of ship it is, what the person's name is, and also as I'm doing a PvE or PvP, you can also see the shields going down, and you can also see which part of the ship do you want to attack. Actually, like if you come across a ship like a Constellation, which is a small to mid-size ship, and I've noticed that you can just keep focusing on hitting on the backside of the ship where you see the shields going lower, and then as soon as the shields are gone, then you can start hitting the hull, and that way you can try to even disable the ship of Constellation. Like if you take out the engines, and then that's it, the ship will be right there. And then what you can do next is you can go inside the ship, come out from your ship, you can take the guns and go inside and board that ship as well. So you can take out the pilot as well. So yeah, so all of that gameplay is involved into this, so it makes it so much more realistic. There's so many things that you can do, so I'm so excited about this game that once they add more and more features and they improve the player count and they have less bugs on this, I think this is gonna be one heck of a game, and I'm sure hopefully they'll get to complete this game. And yeah, I would say that definitely check it out. I think for $45 you can join this game, and you can get the most basic ship, the Aurora or the Mustang. If you're more of a versatile player, I would suggest go for an Aurora. Or if you just want to do, I think, just bounty missions, then you can go for Mustang. But Aurora is also pretty powerful, in my opinion. So yeah, it was an exciting journey for me. From the last 3 weeks I've played this game. At least now I can play this game and experience it. There's a lot of immersion involved into it, and I'm just excited. So yeah, I will put my referral code as well. With the referral code you get additional 5,000 credits, so it could help you a little bit more. You can probably get a couple of laser guns for a ship, or maybe just one of these rifles, ballistic rifles, for the extra money that you can get. And that's me here. I'm just landing on the station. So yeah, that's the thing, you get this real feel over here. And you actually have to land, and then you can store the ship on the station. So there's so many things that you can do in this game, and that's the reason why I believe that this game should continue on to go. So yeah, just you support this game. So, and eventually once this game is out, I think we're gonna have I think it is gonna be like the only game that has achieved this. I know there are games like Dual Universe, but I feel the genre of Dual Universe is a little different, because in terms of graphics, I've seen Dual Universe, but it's not that great as compared to Star Citizen. But what Dual Universe has achieved already is the player cap. I think they had quite a lot of players. I think I'm not sure to how many, but I think I've seen one of the videos where they had up to like 250 or 300 players. So that's quite impressive. But I hope Star Citizen gets to that stage as well, and that's definitely going to be something everyone's looking out for. A single universe, single server, single universe, everyone's in it. And yeah, I would say, like, let's unleash all these corporations going to war, and then we'll have all these resource war battles here, economy going up and down, and there's something to look in. And the armor that I'm using right now is the just a mining outfit that you can also mine, even not just the mining ship, you can also mine by just mine using your laser. So here I conclude my video. This is my first video ever, so hope you like it. and here's my referral code. You get 5,000 extra credits, and I'm just gonna sit over here. This is a place where I love sitting over here. Just enjoy the view, and over there you can see Lorville. So yeah, I will check on this game, see how you feel about it, you know, continue to support it. And yeah, this is the background wallpaper over here, as you can see, is the destroyer. Pretty soon I think we'll get a chance to, you know, a lot of people jumping into this destroyer, controlling various parts of it. It's gonna be exciting with all of this involved. Yeah, and hope every one of you have a good day.